All right, what up, everyone? We're going to be reviewing the market for today, October 23rd, 2025. So, I didn't trade today. Um, yeah, I couldn't get up. So, we're going to review the market, though. We're going to see what happened, see what we can learn from it. Let me know if you guys want me to cover anything in specific, what I should cover. And yeah, let's just jump right into the charts here. So, um, I'm going to get out my files as well. And let me know if you guys ever want me to trade London or anything like that. Like, I feel like like an Asia trading session or a London trading session would kind of go hard, I'm not going to lie. As always, I'm listening to music. It make the stream so much better if I could play the music live. Hey, what up, Ethan? How's it going, bro? But yeah, like I said, it'd make the stream so much better if I could play music live, and I'm like 95% sure that I can't do that because YouTube is going to absolutely strike me in every way possible. So do a London session. Maybe I'll do one tonight, bro. Maybe I'll do one tonight. That might be vibes. So guys, we got this beautiful 8-hour inversion for value gap. Well, call it 6-hour, call it 4-hour, call it 12-hour. It doesn't really matter. It's beautiful, right? So I'm watching this, and if you were in my in the Discord, I said how basically I got free resets on Top Step. So with that in mind, hey, what up, Kirk? So I got free resets on Top Step. And so with that in mind, what I'm for the account that's in draw. So here's the logic behind this, right? So I have the one account. One account is very slightly in drawdown. The other account is very barely in profit. Can I call it Shirley? What? Call what Shirley? The inversion for value gap? You can call it whatever you want, bro. But what was I saying? So basically, I got 2 free resets because Top Step had that thing that happened on Monday where they had the outage and they said, "Yo, we're just gonna give everyone a free reset for every single account you had with us." And so because of that, I have 2 free resets now. And since those accounts, I'm not right now nothing because I still have to find my phone. Where even is my phone anyway? Oh, it's right here. I'm about to listen to something though. You named the inversion for value gap. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Point of the story is there's basically there's basically no drawback to I basically get 2 free account resets, and those accounts aren't even started yet. So basically, I'm taking this as a 1-to-1 on those accounts to see if I can half pass them. And then, is there a time limit on that? I don't know, bro. But what I'm doing is since those accounts, one of them's in drawdown and one of them is barely started, I'm basically doing what Jan does, where he tries to half pass the accounts, and I'm gonna see if I can half pass them using this 1-to-1 inversion. So we'll see if it hits, but so far it's going. So, and then if those accounts can be half passed, they'll be halfway to 150k funded, which would be nice. I can't lie. So I mean, yeah, obviously I hope this hits, but yeah, when you look at it on an 8-hour chart, it looks really nice. So keep up the good work, Drake. Also, we gotta play ping pong on Sunday. Yes, bro. Yes, we do. But anyway, think that's a very logical thing to do, right? I have 2 free resets. Might as well use them. Try and see if I can half pass the accounts, and then keep going from there. Because you can't pass a Top Step account with. You can't do it all in one trade. It has to be at least 2 trades. Does that make sense? So hopefully, we'll see how this goes. Could this be high? It could end up being high resistant, right? But it looks like we're gonna go run it. I mean, we're delivering from a nice volume imbalance here on the daily. Anyway, time to review the market for real today. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on. And I'm also going to open up my files. And guys, I do want to get more consistent with it. I know, I missed today live trading, and it's something I'm going to keep working on. I mean, I'm not perfect, so I'm trying. One day when I have my own place, my own money, I feel like it's just going to make things a lot easier. And when I don't have because the issue is like, I have other things I have to do, like working and stuff. And like imagine if I had my own place, if I was trading full time, then I wouldn't. Then it'd be a lot easier to show up to the charts every day. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so got the file pulled up. Boom. So today was Thursday, so we got that pulled up here. Okay. So I guess let's just start from the beginning. So first things first, guys. I kind of identified this last night. I was watching London session. That I'd be lying if I told you guys I wasn't watching London. I was definitely watching London last night just to see, maybe we'd get something, right? I didn't end up seeing really anything, but I was watching it just to see. And but while I was watching London, one thing I noticed is Monday and Tuesday consolidated, and then Wednesday we get this move down, delivering lower into a key level, this 4-hour BPR here. And so in my head, I'm like, this gives the type of vibes of a Wednesday low of weekly profile, where once again, Monday and Tuesday kind of chop around sideways. Wednesday manipulates. Thursday, Friday expand. And this is something that just like I was looking at during London session. I was like, this could happen. We could get this midweek reversal weekly profile. I was thinking it. I wasn't sure, but now you can see that maybe this midweek reversal weekly profile is starting to play out. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. Right? So this is where let me go in Discord here. This is why weekly profiles can be incredibly valuable, because you could have used that for bias for today if you had identified it on Wednesday. So look at this. So weekly profiles, that's the, let's see. Man, is there a good example of it? Okay, anyway, Monday, Tuesday, chop around sideways. Wednesday, manipulates. Thursday and Friday expand. So I was kind of thinking that this could be the case. And then maybe we want to mark this out as a daily key level. Clearly we have a daily volume balance. It's a 12-hour, 8-hour BPR, 6-hour. Let's just mark it out as the 4-hour BPR. That's the most obvious one. Right, so 4-hour BPR. So Monday, Tuesday accumulate pretty clearly. We had our true open for the week. Oh, there it is. So Monday, 18 o'clock is the true open for the week. So that's right here. So by the way, you can see how the market actually uses that right here to first manipulate lower, which is kind of cool. But see how this was the exact top? We talked about this earlier this week. That's why true opens are so valuable. So Monday, 18. This one's only showing 18. Oh, it's because it's on the higher time frame. Yeah. And then Turn this off. So yeah, basically right now, first I'm framing this as like a weekly profile, because I don't know, we're getting to that point in the week where it's like I just want to look at this. So let's actually get up ES, see if there was S&T or anything at the low. It's always interesting to see. So this was midnight of Tuesday. This is midnight of Wednesday. When was this? This was in PM session. Oh, man, I was gonna listen to music and I kind of just forgot. And I have my AirPods in and everything. Alright. So we had S&T with this low. Okay, this is where things are getting interesting. So we're below Monday, 18 o'clock. Today we had the midnight true open here. We're below that as well. Then we go to what's next? 7:30. It's actually interesting. 7 and 30 kind of overlap with each other pretty perfectly. So, midnight, 7:30. You see how you start to use all these in confluence with each other, and you start to get a pretty high probability area where you can expect manipulation, because we were below midnight, we were below Monday 18 o'clock, we're below true session open. So they're basically filters on price for where the manipulation could occur. That's what it is. And you can see there was S&T with this low, right? Starting to see what I'm saying here. Dropping down lower time frame. What happened next? We filtered this down even more to 7:52, which is the 90-minute true open, right? And now all of a sudden, things are getting really clear. 7:52. Okay, so now anything below this is below every single true open. You see how we're getting S&T with it? So this is the filtering process smart money will go through to find the high probability entry. So drag this over. So we obviously get S&T at the low, right? We get a sweep of the low. And now you can start to see how obvious this is becoming, right? We swept out what looks like Asia low. Yeah, we swept out Asia low. S&T with Asia low. And once again, guys, I'm listening to music. Highly recommend you guys listen to music as well. Okay, so now we're really starting to get very precise here, right? We swept out Asia's low with Asian SMT. And then we have an internal sweep of liquidity here. Boom. Okay, what next? So here was 7:52. Why did I mark this out? Well, that's 7:30. Okay, sweep, break of structure. So you're starting to see it now. This fair value gap looks nice. What time did this occur? 9/11? Dealing ranges. So by the way, guys, I updated this gold block indicator because all you really need is the fair value gap partition and the other one. And the edges of the dealing range. Okay, check this out, right? Sweep liquidity into the bottom of the dealing range. Break of structure. Retracement to where? Fair value gap partition. That's what this is, right? So here's our 2022 fair value gap. We could actually look at this on the higher time frame and see if we can identify it a little better. Right? So there's that fair value gap. See how the bodies respect the fair value gap partition, right? See how we sweep liquidity into the sweep partition? Pretty crazy. So let's actually identify this and then drag this over. So there's fair value gap partition. So quarterly theory is time, gold block is price, right? So what size dealing range is this? 81. Okay. So it's 81 for value gap. We got an 81 low. Oh, I gotta charge my laptop. And then here's the high up here. This is the draw on liquidity in the short term. Obviously, we went much higher, but that's besides the point. Bro, how will you do all this in real time? You can pretty clearly identify the Asia sweep SMT. From there, you look for a 2022 model. So if I know where the sweep is, it's pretty easy to identify where we broke structure. From there, I fit the dealing range. This is too complicated, bro. Alright, then I don't know what to say other than it makes sense to me. Call it too complicated. I call it precise, right? All right. So yeah, look at that. You don't need to catch this though. You can just bro, here's the thing, Kelechi. You don't need to be able to take a trade using this. You can just identify it and then use it as confluence to trade with it. Like for instance, I identify the time-based SMT, I identify the break of structure, retracement into a fair value gap, and then inversion. And then I take this inversion, right? You see how I used it as confluence? I don't necessarily have to take it as a whatever. And I think this inversion for value gap was probably the trade of the day. You see how that ended up being the 2022 model. So honestly, what I would do here, guys, is first option for a trade. First option for a trade is exactly. You don't have to get overcomplicated. I'm not saying you need to have all this. This is just me getting into the details to identify the precision of these markets. It's not something you have to do. This is totally optional. But the point is, we swept out Asia low. We got a sweep. Then we come back, retrace the fair value gap, and then this inversion, this is the light bulb trade, right? And then we have what? All this is low resistance. Well, when we get up there, it's going to be low resistance. It's not low resistance yet, but when we get up there, it is. So, everyone has their own trading style. And so what you have to realize is what I'm showing you, you just use it as a tool to turn it into your own style. What from what I'm showing makes sense, and then utilize it. Like, for instance, I watch ICT. I don't know what the crap he's saying a lot of the time. His style is going to be different than my style, and my style is going to be different than Dodgy style, and Dodgy style is going to be different than TGR, and TGR is going to be different than PB trading. But the point with all that is to say, you got to identify what makes sense to you from what you're watching, and then use that to take a trade. That's the key. Use that to develop your own style. So for me, I like this inversion where we come off the 3-minute 2022 gap. I can obviously see this was a pretty clear dealing range low, 3-minute for delivering from a 2022 model. We're below every single true open. We could even go on the 4 or 5 minute and see if there was a higher time frame version here. So yeah, we have a 5-minute inversion right here. So this is, you could enter a little bit lower actually. You could get in right there. Now, maybe you want to wait for the 3-minute. Kind of just depends on personal preference. I think I'd wait for the 3-minute. But when I see that 3-minute close, at that point it's pretty obvious. What about the wicks past the FVG retest? Are you just watching the bodies? Yeah, so it's exactly right. You want to see what the bodies do, because the wicks are going to do the damage, the bodies tell the story. As Ice-T says, and a whole bunch of other people say, pay attention to what the bodies are doing. You can see the bodies respecting the gap. And let me get rid of this for a second. Where do the bodies respect? Where do they respect? They respect inside of this 81 fair value gap partition that I identified, right? So that's going to tell me a lot about what smart money wants to see going into the next price leg up, right? They're going to want to see this be a 2022 model to the upside. So we deliver out of this with SMT, and I'm feeling confident that we will expand higher. So we also were within the Hydra macro. So let's mark that out from here to here. And I could just move it over a little bit just to show, because once again, I kind of see macros as from the entry to the drawn liquidity. So yeah, this is how I would take this, right? Let's drag this over. Once again, you got to take what I'm saying. If something doesn't make sense, you don't need to use it, right? I like to just map everything out to get as precise as possible. That doesn't mean that you should do that. That doesn't mean that's the way that you should trade. You should understand what's going on and then learn from it, and then take the best trade you can based off of what I'm saying, or based off of what actually makes sense to you. So now you can see why I like true opens, right? Being below every single true open was a massive confluence for me to be long. That's what gives me really good bias. So yeah, here's the Hydra macro. And yeah, this was probably the most obvious trade. And, you know, if you entered a little early, you would have got wrecked. And that's where you have to have patience. You have to have patience. 100%. Okay, let me find it. Alright. Once again, this is how I would take the trade. Below every single true open. Okay, let's go ahead and screenshot this. $9.24. Inversion for value gap on the 3-minute. Kind of a front run, kind of not, because 5-minute already did inverse, but I'm just waiting for like extra confirmation for an obvious 3-minute close. So since 5-minute had already inversed, I'm not gonna call this a front run. All right, 9.24 inversion for value gap, 3-minute. I'm gonna save that. All right. Okay. So another way you could have got in on this move is, as I said prior, we needed to identify this as a 2022 model, right? Premium and discount here. Once we identify this as a 2022 model, we can identify this 2022 gap with help of our GB partition. We can do that pretty easily. And then I can drop down to a 15-second chart and say, okay, when are we going to get a line time frame change in state out of this? That occurs right here. And honestly, guys, I do think this is pretty nice. So, liquidity sweep, break of structure, measuring out premium to discount, retracement into a 3-minute gap. We get our 15-second change in state out of this right there. So honestly, I like that a lot. So this is a 2022 plus, where basically you enter on a change in state on the line time frame out of the 2022 model. So that's kind of cool. So we can project out this OB, project this out 4 standard deviations. 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually go up 8. By the way, we go up 8. How perfect is this, right? Let's actually just mark it out going up 8, because, yeah, wow. So you're starting to see how precise these markets can really be. 8 projections up. Perfectly. Perfectly, 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 perfectly. Right? You see how you start to see how precise these markets really are, and then 4 projections up, right? What happens at 4 projections up? Same thing. We get a retrace. Why? Because smart money's taking profit there. That's why. So this is a 2022 plus. We wait for change of state confirmation out of the for value gap. By the way, look at this. No drawdown. Not a single bit of drawdown. Right? You can't make that up. Can't make that up. Not a single bit of drawdown. Honestly, you could probably put stop like that, probably get away with it. Yeah, that's what I would do. And then, yeah, you can see we end up going 8 projections up. I think I'll just screenshot it like this, right? Because this is the realistic final take profit for me, is the 4th standard deviation. Obviously, I'd scale out. Let's get rid of this for a second. So precise, man. All right. So 913. $20.22 plus. Aligning the 3-minute with the 15-second. Skipping this song. Yeah, 913, right? 913. 2022 plus 15-second. 3-minute, 15-second. Alright, but that might not be the most obvious trade for you, right? That's not necessarily an obvious trade for me. I'm just identifying the trade so I can put it in my mental repertoire. The most obvious trade was definitely that inversion. Another way you could have taken it is you could say, okay, let's get rid of everything else, actually. This is why a lot of time you don't just want to blindly enter at the 2022 gap. You want to kind of like maybe wait for change of state confirmation out of it or something along those lines, because then you'll get a little bit more precise of an entry. So we can look at the 1 minute. Actually, let's actually look and see off to the left. What was over here? Was there actually anything? Was there even anything at all? Actually, I have this old gap here and then a gap here. Let's actually use this. So 1 hour for value gap. But, oh, let's take a screenshot of just the true opens. This is like when your mom, you're doing family pictures and your mom's like, okay, I just want the kids in this one. In this one, I just want the true opens because I want to show how cool and how precise this actually is. Alright. Alright, you see midnight. By the way, look at that. You see 7:30, 7:52. We can actually... Okay, let's see. What other true opens are there? I'm looking for a 22-minute one. 7:58. 8:21. So yeah, I would use the. I've never written this one down before, but the first 22-minute cycle of the new 90-minute cycle, so from 9 to 10:30, the first 22 minutes, the true open will be 9:06. And so now you see how we can use this to identify manipulation. Boom. What time does this happen at? I'm actually gonna take out the AirPod for a second. Okay, let's look for some more real trades. Okay. Alright, so we'll swip out Asia low. This OB. Look at that. Look at that OB. Look at that OB. Look how cute he is. Look at how powerful this guy was. The final little brick of this move down before the leg up, right? Before the explosive leg up. So this 5-minute OB. Very strong OB, right? Wow, and look at the 30-second IFGF delivering from it. Now that is clean. What about the 1 minute? Did the 1 minute inverse out of it too? You'd have to merge these. Okay, I love the 30-second. I'm not saying I would catch it, but if I saw this, ooh, like this is, it's got the good signature. The good signature. Delivering from, wait a second. Is this a rejection block? Interesting. Anyway, I'm just going to identify this IPG. The signature on this inversion is kind of nice, so not necessarily saying I would take it, but I'm just identifying things I notice, right? This got some good signature to it, and you can see it did mark the bottom, so it's worth marking out in my opinion. So we're aligning. Actually, this goes back to what I was saying before about how I was talking about this. I had this realization. I don't know when it was, earlier this week, that we can take a higher time frame key level and we can align it with an inversion for value gap instead of a change in state of delivery, right? So 5-minute OB, 30-second inversion for value gap. Kind of cool, right? And then we can treat this as void, right? And now that's not where the stop loss goes. You guys know that. Okay. So. And then we could target just simple these low resistance highs right there. That's 3.39 to 1. That's nice. That is nice, bro. delivery from this for value gap. Let's mark out this is L or LR. Let's get rid of this true session open for a second, right? This is just a very nice accumulation range. Mark it out like this. Now, what time did this occur? 9:12. So it wasn't the pre-market, but still, right? Still nice. So yeah, maybe just take profit there. Bang, that's 3-1. That's so nice. And that's such a simple trade. Then you could have held a runner, right? So 9:12. That's a 369 time because it's 9 plus 1 plus 2 is, well, 12, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. I'm not gonna mark it down though. 9:12 inversion for value gap 32nd. And you could mark it out as flow state if you want, like aligning the 5-minute OB with a 30-second inversion, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna mark it out as a 30-second inversion. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. Alright, what next, guys? What next? Did I save that correctly? Yeah, 9:12 inversion for value gap on the 32nd. I guess let's take a look at what happened next, right? Past market open. The 5-minute change in state was clean too. I mean, we obviously had such a nice SMT. You could have definitely just said, okay, let's just mark this out as a 1 hour BPR. Ooh, I'm liking this actually a lot. Whew. Now this is nice. This is very simple. This is nice. 1 hour BPR, 5-minute change in state. Now you could use that. Ooh, you could use that. You could have used this. Wait, now, okay, now I'm getting sidetracked. We obviously had a 1 hour BPR, right? Oh my gosh, this is getting really interesting. 1 hour, sorry, we gotta measure this out. Project out the order block. Oh man. Oh my gosh. That's crazy, bro. What? No way. Okay. So yeah. It's technically, right? Technically speaking, you could use this as the change in state. So what am I getting excited about? Why am I even getting excited right now? Well, this is 16 projections up. All right. So there we go. Bang. Why am I even getting excited? Well, because you can see this change in state of delivery. You can consider this the change in state. That's the safest one to do, right? And you have to put stop loss at the low. So 1 hour BPR, 5-minute change in state. You could just you could just go off of that, project this out, and then see how we use OTE of it. Then we go up 4, 6, 7, 8 projections. Once again, I like to just target 4. So this was a nice flow state here. Fourth standard deviation aligning with this LRLR. Honestly, this very possibly could have been the trade I took if I was to live trade. So 4 projections up. You can just see 9, 10. We hit the sniper entry. So this is the normal change in state, right? We have the 1 hour BPR, we have the 5-minute change in state, then we have, and then we go up 4 projections. It's the normal change in state. Stop loss at the low. You would get close to getting stopped out, but you'd be in the clear, right? So this is the flow state model number 1. And then yeah, use this like kind of consolidation as your LRLR. Okay, so flow state retest at 9:05. Flow state retest 1 hour aligning with the 5-minute. Then you could theoretically, if you were a degen, you could take the sniper model. Not recommending anyone do that, but bang. So sniper model 9:10. And then, why was I getting excited, guys? So, come full circle. Why was I getting excited? Well, if instead we mark this out as the change in state, and by the way, guys, let's get out our GB again. See how this OB swept liquidity into the extreme of the dealing range. What's the word for it? Anyway, swept liquidity into the external of the range, right? So now we know, okay, this OB is going to be very, very strong because it swept liquidity into the edge of the dealing range. This OB is going to be very, very strong. Let's take a note of that, right? What's the word I used before? Into the extension of the dealing range, we know it is a very strong OB, right? So we can use this as confluence to take our long. All right. So now, once again, what if now we say, okay, we're gonna actually mark out this order block is changing state. Now all of a sudden, wow, right? We can use this order block projected up, and all of a sudden a whole new world opens up, and well, we go 16 projections higher. I'm not suggesting that we. And by the way, actually, the cherry on top of the cake is that if you measure out the sweet spot, right? If you measure out the sweet spot, like the sweet spot actually bottom ticks this perfectly, right? So if you entered at the sweet spot, well, now you bottom ticked this. Completely bottom ticked it, by the way. It's not even like kind of. You just bottom tick it if you enter it at the sweet spot. Which is the sniper model, right? This is the sniper model on crack. This is the sniper model on crack, where we took the already super, like, the lowest version of the order block, and now we're pairing it with the sniper model, and then we projected up 16, right? Boom. So this right here is just crazy. And that's bottom ticking it. So, and I'm actually so curious now. Yeah. Hey, what up, Javier? Well, you're first in a while. No one's been watching, but other people were here way earlier. Now they're gone, but that's okay. I'm just enjoying backtesting by myself. I just sometimes I just can't believe how precise these markets can be with how they will hit a specific level to a tick. Just insane. 9, 10, sniper. Number 2 is the second version. This is using the lowest order block that swept liquidity into the edge of the dealing range, the extension. And this was at 9-10 sniper model number 2. This was 1 hour, lining with the 5 minute. Okay. But then let's just say we took this just as the order block. Now, I'm not suggesting to take this kind of trade. I just like observing. I like observing the precision in these markets because, I mean, it's just cool. It's just cool. I'm not suggesting to go in full arm swinging trying to hit this. What I'm saying is we had a 1 hour gap. We had a 5 minute order block that's the same as change in state. It's the lowest one. It comes with an Asian SMT. We obviously had a sweep and then break of structure. We know that's the lowest order block before the move higher, so we know that order block is going to be the most sensitive. OTE of that, the orange line, the sweet spot, bottom ticks it, bro. Bottom ticks it. Bottom ticks it. I mean, you start to see bottom ticks and top ticks happen so much, you just realize, oh yeah, these markets, they are run by smart money. They're run by people who know what they're doing. End of story. Period. End of story. So, okay, this is the other. This way is still pretty degen. I'm not suggesting that it's a realistic trade, but I just want to show, like, that order block was obvious because it was the order block that came before the break of structure. Yeah, I'm not. I marked out the 1 hour stuff earlier. Right now, I'm just taking a look at how. That's from the New York Open, right? Yeah. What I'm looking at is like the precision in these markets. I'm not suggesting that that's the trade you should take. I'm not at all. I'm just trying to show I'm trying to show how precise these markets are. Because this OB was the final, was the lowest OB in the final, was the lowest down close candle in the leg down before the move up of the market structure shift. You see that? You see what I'm saying? We break structure here. So this OB is going to be very sensitive, and then OTE of that is even more sensitive. That's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, this is a very obvious market structure shift. You see the sweep, break of structure, fair value gap. So we could actually just mark this out as a 2022 model, and that will make things incredibly simple. So first, let's just finish marking this out as flow state, flow state, retest, 1 hour, and then 5 minute. Once again, all OBs are changing states, and all change states are OBs, so I could mark out that lowest one as an OB, or a change in state. Okay, so the next thing I want to show is like, we have time-based SMT, right? So this next trade is going to be very simple. Very, very simple. Not complicated at all. I'm not making this one complicated. This one's going to be very simple, right? Right? You see how we had sweep of Asia low? We get a break of structure, right? So liquidity sweep, break of structure, fair value gap. That's it, bro. That was it. That was all it took. I'm not trying to complicate it for you guys. I just personally get into the details because I like learning and I find the details to be very fascinating. But at the end of the day, there are very simple trades such as this, right? And I could actually draw this out combining these two candles, and now all of a sudden it makes a lot of sense, right? The 5 minute, and yes, you want to merge these two candles because this whole thing from this to this that's the inefficiency. This whole leg from here to here. I mean, this whole entire thing here is an inefficiency. So liquidity sweep, break of structure. We're obviously in deep discount. Then a 5 minute gap. Okay, so then let's just say for kicks that you entered at equilibrium with the stop loss below the low, which would it'd be almost perfectly aligned with the flow state model. Well, then we can project out the order block. Once again, this is why I like to wait for a reaction as confluence sometimes, but this would have hit 3R, right? Not bad, if I do say so myself. Not bad. Just a simple 5 minute 2022 model. My grandma could take this, right? Let's just mark it out like that for simplicity. Liquidity sweep, both internal and external. Liquidity sweep, break of structure, fair value gap and discount, stop loss at the low, targeting 4 projections of the order block. Once again, my grandma could take this. That one's actually simple, right? Sweep, break of structure, fair value gap. So yeah, 905, 2022 model on the 5 minute. Okay, we should probably look at a different section of price because we've been looking at the same little area for like forever now. This is on the 5 minute. And we don't need to align it with a higher time frame. So, okay. You took it because NQ created an SMT with ES and YM from times 20 to 830. Yeah, I was looking at that. I honestly, I think I was like half awake. I was looking at my phone and I was like, oh, that might be a 2022 model. And then I fell back asleep. I remember thinking that, though. I remember thinking it. Okay, yeah. Let's look at a different segment of price because I've been looking at this for way too long. Way, way too long. It's the same little piece of price. But the point is, very obvious AMD. What kind of daily profile was this, by the way? What kind of daily profile was this? Anyone know? Very, very nice daily profile. At least I think it is. Hey, what up, Mayank? How's it going? I'm pretty sure, guys. I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I don't know. It's kind of weird because Asia had this little low here, Did you see what I marked out on Discord? I'm gonna have to look at it. Where? In your journal? Wait, like where at in Discord? Okay. So yeah, I would say from a daily profile perspective, this was just New York reversal. Very simple day. Very simple day, right? You could just look at this and say, oh wow, Asia sweep. 5-minute change in state right here. Let's enter there. Stop loss at the low. And then let's target London. See how easy this is once you understand daily profiles? Right? New York reversal. Trading floor. I'll send it to DM. Okay. I didn't see it. I don't know why. Yeah, see how easy it was once you understand daily profiles? Like, okay, we have a 1 hour BPR. Asia sweep. 5-minute change in state. See how, by the way, the flow states will just align with the 2022 models. And then 5-1 up to London. This is a realistic trade. 100% realistic. This is just common sense understanding of daily profiles. And yeah, I'd probably wait for confirmation, but this is still somewhat realistic. Just takes an understanding of daily profiles and realizing today was New York reversal. Sweet. So, New York reversal daily profile. Not a hard trade by any means. Now, obviously, I'd wait for confirmation via that 3-minute inversion or this 5-minute change in state out of this. Both of them are nice. I think the best, highest probability trade, though, would not be this. Right? This is kind of more of a risky entry because you don't know if it's ready to go run liquidity. I think the most obvious and risk-less entry, the entry that I would have liked to have take. So we're kind of we're boiling it down to like okay, where's the entry that you would actually take, Jake? Where's the entry you'd actually take? I'll show you, right? So once again, 9-10 flow state, retest, 1 hour, 5-minute. Let's actually just mark this out as New York reversal daily profile. All right. So where's the entry I would actually take? Where's the entry you'd actually take, Jake? Well, you don't have to take the first change in state, right? This one was not obvious at all that we were going to go run liquidity, so I likely wouldn't take that. This one's obvious that we're drawing to London's highs. We obviously have low resistance highs all through here. So this is the one right here, this 5-minute change in state. This is the one that I would take. Very, very realistic, understanding, conceptualizing daily profiles. I mean, we were going into the Hydra macro. Time and price were aligned. I'd honestly put stop like that because I know that if we're obviously displacing that, we should just go. And you could honestly take profit there, or you could target London. That's 4-1. This is a realistic trade. All you need to do is understand the daily profile. This is super realistic, actually. Not even kind of realistic. This is super realistic. Delivery from this 5-minute Fervaya gap, right? Super, super realistic. I'm not going to say I for sure would have taken this because you never know. Like, I probably would have messed something up. But decent chance I would have taken this if I had been in the right mental state and, I really was locked in enough to take it. But This, like I said, this is a very realistic trade. Now, you could even have a way bigger stop loss. I'm not saying you can't. Very realistic trade, especially from especially once you realize the daily profile and that it was a New York reversal day. Very realistic trade, 100%. Hydra macro, right? Let's actually draw this out, right? So yeah, this is the trade of the day, and I'm gonna start posting trades of the day on Twitter. I keep forgetting. Yeah, this is 100% the trade of the day. This is so obvious. Okay, I'm gonna look at the thing you sent on Twitter or on Discord, Javier. Yeah, like I said, very realistic. It's kind of like Minecraft sometimes when you're building out the trade. Like when I'm backtesting it and I'm like marking everything up, it's like I'm like building a little house. Like this is what the trade was. Very realistic trade. There's multiple ways to take this. I could have stop loss at the low of this candle. It's gonna be less RR, but might make you more comfortable. This I like as well. It's a little scary, but it's kind of like me saying, I'm calling your bluff. I don't think you're going to come back down there because I think we're ready to go run liquidity. So, very realistic trade, 100%. And then you can go break even. I would not go break even honestly, until we break the external gap and we tap this high, because at that point we should not come back. So I'd go break even at the bodies of this. That's what I would do, because at that point you can see we're in that low resistance liquidity curve and we should not stop. So yeah, this right here is a very realistic trade. And actually, let's just post this to the Twitter let's just post this to Twitter as trade of the day. Monday's high, Monday's open, Monday's low. Oh yeah, that's crazy that we swept out Monday's high like that and then Monday's low. Whew. Beautiful, Javier. Yeah, I'm gonna post this as trade of the day. So flow state closed 9:25. You could call it a CISD entry if you want. Either way, right? Either way you want to spin it. 1 hour aligning with the 5 minute. And then here's the other version of the same trade. Price was moving around that range. That's crazy. Yeah, it really was though. So here's the other version of the same exact trade, where wider stop loss, safer version. This one, this one's a good one. I can't lie. This one's a good one. 9:25. Honestly, I might have taken it like this. I don't even know. It's hard to say what I would have done, but I think I would have taken this trade somewhere in here. Number 2. And once again, we could just take, we don't even need to know that there's a 1 hour BPR here. I can just tell when we get this change in state of delivery that we're going to go expand to go run London. I can just tell. Like, I don't even need to know for sure that there was a BPR there. Obviously, the BPR was super helpful, but I can with conviction say when I get this change state, it's like an inversion for value gap. I can tell that we're gonna go run to London. Bet the weekly traders didn't want it to go lower than that to push the price up to their TP. Yeah, that was pretty clear. Like weekly reversal, like that's bottom of the week. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, you could just have taken this as a 925 CISD close, and then on the 5-minute, bang. You don't even need the higher time from key level. I can just tell we're gonna go run liquidity. Okay. Yeah, man, that was beautiful. And then look at this. Reaper gap. What do you see that? What do you see here? That's the Reaper. You see the Reaper gap? These markets, man. These markets, they are perfect, bro. They're perfect. You see the Reaper gap? We got to talk about this. Retracement to the Reaper gap. What's this? This is the breaker. The highest series of highest up close candles. What's this in discount? That's a gap. So this is going to be kind of what's the support on the right side of the curve is going to be this Reaper gap here. See that? Imagine thinking the markets are random. I feel bad. I actually feel bad. So yeah, this is a 5-minute Reaper. Pretty clean, right? Kind of want to see if we had any end dogs or anything. Sometimes end dog will perfectly align with Reaper gap. When that happens, oh my gosh, that is exciting stuff when that happens. So yeah, nice little 5-minute Reaper tap here. Before continued expansion higher. So let's just call this a Reaper tap. Right. 5-minute Reaper tap. We can drop down to a 30-second chart. Look for the align time frame change in state out of this 5-minute Reaper. Right? So you can't make this up. You can't make this up, right? What's this? 30-second. First opportunity is the entering on the close, right? So you could take this 5-minute Reaper gap. Let's say you did not want to soup it there. Be kind of scary. Well, you can wait for a 30-second change in state. We get that here. So a 30-second change in state. Enter on the close. That's what I would do at least. And then you could target these low resistance highs like that. You can target that high. That's a 1.75 to 1. Not too bad. Not too bad. You could actually just target the second projection. Not bad at all, honestly. Cannot complain about that. So do you kind of see what I'm saying, right? We had accumulation on the 30-second chart from here to here. Manipulation into the Reaper gap right here. Now you see it. Now you see it, and then the 30-second change in state close right there. Now, obviously, you might need to wait. You might personally want to wait for that inversion for value gap. That's fine. It's kind of just personal preference. Honestly, maybe we just say, hey, actually, let's just take profit at these equal bodies. and then that's a 1.6R. That is fine. That's fine. Who's upset about a 1.6? I'm not. I'm not. Anyway, let's just say that we took profit at the end. Let's just say that we did that, because that's probably the most realistic way to take this. Well, now you can see 5-minute. Manipulation into the Reaper. And then 30-second change in state off of it. Bang. Just perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Perfect. See how I would target that high. There we go. So this is the first way to take this. Not suggesting this is the best way. It's the first way. So flow state close, 10:23. 5-minute aligning with the 30-second. Okay, the next way to take this is we don't enter on the close, we enter on the retest. Check this out, right? We have another second stage, or I don't know if you call it second stage or what, but we have another accumulation here, right? Obviously, we manipulate down to the 30-second change in state, right? So here's our higher time frame PE ray, 5-minute Reaper gap. Let's actually take a look at time and price, right? What's the true open after 10:30? It's gonna be 10:52. Okay, let's pop that out. So 10:52. All right. So now you can see we're in discount relative to the true open. It's actually just, yeah, that's all we're really going to use for this one, honestly. Oh, another confluence is we can take an accumulation, a range projection. This is just for fun. You can see, 0.5 lines up with the change in state. It's another nice confluence. That's besides the point. Accumulation. Manipulation. Well, I guess you could maybe consider inducement. I don't know. But yeah, let's just say that you entered on the 30-second change in state here. Yeah, say you went like this, right? So we have a little accumulation here. And then we have an inducement because it's on the right hand side of the curve. So there's that inducement right there. Bang. Here's the manipulation. So we can enter as an inducement of this low into the aligned time frame change in state. That's what I would do with stop loss at the end of the body or the wick, either one. And then entry like that. You could enter as just a regular inducement of the low. I don't know, just kind of up to you. But let's say you did that. Let's say you project out the order block 4 projections higher. Well, now you top tick it, right? You went from bottom ticking to top ticking. Bottom ticking to top ticking. Right? You see that? 4. Now, I wonder what's going to happen if I target 8 projections. What's going to happen? I have no idea. Oh, would you look at that? That's where we are now. Okay, anyway, that's besides the point. Let's just go up to 4 projections. So, alright. Not necessarily a high probability trade, but it's just like, I like observing. I like learning. I like observing and seeing what opportunities the market does provide. So in the future, I can be ready, you know? Okay. So nice little flow state retest here, or you can call it flow state inducement. I personally would call it flow state retest because, I mean, even though you're inducing it low, you're still entering on a retest. 11:44 flow state retest. 5 minute aligning with the 30-second. Alright, let's go ahead and save that. Let's see if there's anyone watching. Hey, there's 2 watching. Let's go. What else do we even look at? These markets are so cool. Well, I don't know, guys. I kind of maybe just want to be done. Clean price action today. Very clean. Lots of opportunities. You just kind of have to be aware of them. It's a little treasure map, right? Just a little treasure map. You just have to find the treasure. That's the key. Beautiful Reaper gap. Oh my gosh. Doesn't that just make you just excited seeing this Reaper gap and then seeing how precisely market bodies end up respecting it? Doesn't that just get you, doesn't it just make you excited? Like, one day I'm gonna take a Reaper trade off on my personal, actually hopefully soon. I'm going to take a Reaper trade on my personal that's going to look exactly like this. It's going to be so obvious. And you guys are going to be like, how did you do that? And I'm like, where were you in the 100, 200, 500 backtesting sessions that I did to figure this stuff out, right? I mean, you enter at the Reaper, probably stop below the nearest swing low. Or below this gap, maybe. And everyone's like, oh, how did you bottom tick it? Bro, it's like, this was just the most obvious Reaper for value gap in the world. Right? Let's just, for fun, let's just see if this fit inside a dealing range. Let's actually look at new week opening gaps and stuff. Wow, the new week opening gap here, it's just like not interacted with a ton. I don't know, I might just be done for today, guys. But yeah, there was not really any reason to be bearish. And if I zoom out, oh, first cent for value gap. I don't think it was used, but let's just look. Yeah, it was a breakaway gap. So first presented for value gap ended up being a breakaway gap. I don't know what you want to note about that, but first presented for value gap was a breakaway gap. I don't know. There's not much to say. I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna take mental note of that. That's interesting. We didn't even come back to it. This inversion. Oh man, that actually. It's a very simple trade. I actually like that a lot. That's a very wow. This was actually really clean. No need for complications. Simple dodgy type of trade, right? We have a simple dodgy type of trade here where we get sweep, right? This is the type of trade where you could take one of these trades and you could be done for the month if you're that rich. Accumulation, manipulation, 2-minute IFG, up to the high, equal highs. AMD. Bang. Bang, 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 bang. Clean as heck. So, accumulation, manipulation, delivery from a fair value gap. Let's combine these two into one here. Let's actually use this specifically, this piece of price here. It's a little BPR. So 5-minute BPR. All of a sudden, this is very obvious. 5-minute BPR. Accumulation, manipulation into the 5-minute BPR. 2-minute inversion for value gap. We're obviously in good, like it's in discount relative to this range. That's why this is good. We could even, let's actually maybe mark this whole entire thing out as accumulation. So accumulation, manipulation into that 5-minute BPR. And then equal highs, just very clean trade. This is about as simple as it gets, guys. About as simple as it gets. Accumulation. This type of trade I'll take in my sleep if I'm in London session one day in the far future, or maybe not. Actually, not even the far future. In the future, near future, I'm gonna be watching London in my sleep, and I'm gonna see this. Probably won't even be awake, and I'll take it and I'll hit TP. That's how obvious this trade is, because you just click the button when you see this very obvious inversion. Note how we backtest the BPR. Yeah, just does not get much cleaner than that. Oh my gosh, not to mention the macro time. Not to mention the macro time. Oh my gosh. 11:48 too. Wait, what's that? Is that 369 time? No, it's not. Wait, unless the 1 minute. I like the 2 minute best. Stop loss like that. 1.6 R, guys. Is that hard? Is that really that hard? No, it's not. But are we gonna have the patience to wait for it? That's the issue. Once again, we could target this, right? Let's just say that we targeted the equal highs though. Bang. It's about as simple as it gets. This is about as simple as it gets, guys. All right, I think with that, once I finish recording this down, I think I'm gonna end the stream. $11.48. Oh, the macro. I guess let's put in there. Let's put the macro in here, right? Real quick. This is not gonna take too long, right? Okay, one more screenshot. 11:50, 12:10. You can see how the market delivers price during this time, right? This is a lunch macro, actually. Let's actually mark out the BPR like that. Let's actually mark it out like that. Now, would you look at that? Once again, it does not get much cleaner than that. All right. So, keep screenshotting it bad. Okay, 11:48. IFG 2-minute. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. And yeah, with that, I think I'll be done. Whew. I'm tired, bro. I mean, we could, very briefly, we could check to see if there's SMT. It's always interesting to see if there was. Might have been. I don't know. Not seeing it real obvious, but it's okay. Okay. I think I'll end the stream. See if anyone's watching. Two watching. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.